Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. It's been a while. Hit subscribe right now. Matt Gaetz has filed a motion to finally remove Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. NPR, Gaetz moves to oust McCarthy as Speaker. By the way, your super thanks is so your support is greatly appreciated. It's been a little while, and so I miss everybody here. Let's continue. Hopefully the stream is okay. I'm pretty sure it is. New York Times, Matt Gaetz brings up motion to oust Speaker McCarthy. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's happening right now. I've been telling you for a while that he's going to eventually oust McCarthy. Is doing okay. But like I've been saying, Mad Cow Mark, hello to the super thanks. Thank you. I have no clue why OBS is disconnecting and reconnecting. I wish it wouldn't do that, but let me know if the stream is okay. So, sorry about that. But Matt Gaetz has filed a motion. Matt Gaetz has filed a motion to remove Kevin McCarthy. The reason being because he doesn't play hardball with Democrats. So that's the issue. The issue is that he wants... Oh my God, what is going on? Let me know if... Paul, thank you! Thank you so very much, Paul. Sorry about this. Of course, I knew that this stream, it's unbelievable because... It's my first stream in a while. Let me know if you can hear me okay. So hold on. Can you hear me all right? Let me start with a poll first. Can you hear me okay? Let's just start with that. Paul Bartlett, thank you so very much, Paul. I do appreciate it. All right, thank you so very much, everybody. So let's go ahead and read this. This will be very interesting. Kevin McCarthy is kind of pitiful, Gaetz told reporters after filing the motion. He's the product of a corrupt system that rewards people who collect large sums of special interest money and then redistributes that money in exchange for political loyalty and political favors. So that's very interesting. I've prayed and I've hoped that someone emerges out of this historic process who has greater vision and greater clarity and greater trust and conference and more integrity. So it would be wonderful if Matt Gaetz ran as Speaker. Two, there does need to be a challenge to Kevin McCarthy. So the challenge to Kevin McCarthy needs to happen. There does need to be a challenge to Kevin McCarthy. Well, let's continue reading. He said he has fielded calls from members. The interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that you have a situation where he does need a replacement. So there needs to be a replacement, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, Paul, thank you so very much. To my super thanks. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you sticking with me. And definitely being here for so many years. So many people have been here for so many years. So I do appreciate the support. There needs to be a replacement. So he's going to try to find a replacement. He said that there are replacements. There are people who want to replace McCarthy. Gaetz first announced Sunday morning that he plans to file the motion, following through with weeks of threats to oust the Speaker if he passed a clean continuing resolution to fund the government temporarily, especially through a deal that garnered the support of House Democrats. That's the biggest problem. That's exactly why Pelosi would not, under any circumstances, want to work with Republicans on anything. So they would play hardball with Democrats all the time. And that's the issue. McCarthy doesn't play hardball. He doesn't really, he doesn't utilize leverage or influence. Republican Speaker of the House that utilizes leverage and influence. I just want to show you really quickly, ladies and gentlemen, in addition to the speaker, the McCarthy Gaetz feud, U.S. Supreme Court rebuffs long shot candidate's bid to deny Trump. So this is something that I've been talking about a long time. You look, and I've been saying for a long time the Supreme Court will get involved. The Supreme Court is going to get involved not just with this challenge, but with Trump's, let's say he gets convicted, he probably will get convicted. U.S. Supreme Court rebuffs long shot candidates bid to disqualify Trump in 2024. I've been saying for a long time, I've done many, many videos explaining that there's no way that Trump's going to be taken off the ballot. It's not only unconstitutional, it's not even possible. So he did not try to overthrow the government. You'd have to be a complete imbecile to believe that. Randy, I read your book. Thank you, Randy. Randy Duenas, thank you so very much. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it, Randy. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Randy. Greatly, 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 greatly appreciated. I'm glad you did read the book. I have 2 books, ladies and gentlemen. 2 fantasy novels, Breaking the Devil's Heart and Logic of Demons, The Quest for Nadine's Soul, and they're interesting books. Randy, thank you so very much. I really do appreciate that very much. Thank you, Randy, and for your support and the kind words. So Love Trucks, yeah, I've written 2 novels. They're fantasy novels, and you can get them on hagoodman.com and also on Amazon. But to the call to hello to the members on this channel, thank you so very much as well. Paul, Randy, thank you. So U.S. Supreme Court rebuffs long shot candidate's bid to disqualify Trump in 24. The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday turned away a case involving whether former President Donald Trump could be disqualified from the 2024 under a constitutional provision barring anyone who engaged in a rebellion. He did not engage in a rebellion. You have to be a complete imbecile to think that. So, yet again, these apoplectic, hysterical attempts at stopping Trump's not working. He didn't engage in a rebellion, okay? And that's number 1. Number 2, he's going to get convicted, unfortunately, in New York, possibly by the special counsel. I don't think he'll get convicted in Florida for classified data because that's complete nonsense. He was a president with the power to declassify. He could get convicted in Fulton County. Any conviction, let's say he's convicted 3 times or 2 times, will be overturned by the Supreme Court. If you remember, ladies and gentlemen, I'll even run a poll here. Thank you, Randy, again for the kind words also. And Paul, thank you. Love Trucks, hello. Everybody here, Tammy, hello. Let's just go ahead and how many times, ladies and gentlemen, let's just say, how many times have I asked, or have I done, how many times have I done a segment on the Supreme Court? How many times have I told everyone that Supreme Court would never ban Trump in 2024? So that's not happening. Randy and Paul, thank you so very much. To my super thanks, thank you so much. Super chat, sorry, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. We're going to have a lot more live streams, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have a lot more uploads, and we'll do a lot of cool things, especially the next year or so. I'll be interviewing some pretty awesome people, and it's going to be wonderful. But yeah, I mean, you look, ladies and gentlemen, and they're trying desperately to knock him out. It's not working because the economy is not good. Interest rates are through the roof, and that's the only thing keeping inflation at bay. Trump is up. If you look right here, Trump is up 1.1 points versus mashed potato brains. Now think about that for a second. Ladies and gentlemen. Democrats know, number one, the Supreme Court will overturn any conviction. Okay. They're just, right now, they're going after Trump because they think that with enough negative media coverage, okay, if they get enough negative media coverage, that'll help somehow Biden and Democrats. Okay. It's not going to help. It's not going to help because Trump is already up. He's already up in an average of polls. So if you look, let's go ahead and make this larger. If you look, ladies and gentlemen, he's already up in an average of polls. So you're not going to get Biden, who is not popular. Okay, Trump was very popular. He wasn't, you could say, well, he was divisive or polarizing. He was polarizing because he won. And he didn't kowtow or worship media. G Corp, hello. So he didn't the thing with Trump. It's not like he is the normal politician. He says what's on his mind, and he is unapologetic, and they don't like that. So they paint him into the greatest monster who's ever lived. They accuse him of everything under the sun. Nothing works. He still is up. He's indicted 4 different times. So think about that for a second. He's been indicted 4 different times. He's still up. How miserably failed of a presidency or an administration or a political party do you have to be to actually lose in the polls to somebody who's been indicted 4 times? Okay, number one, everybody knows the indictments are political in nature. They know that Trump did not commit all of these crimes. They know that these are essentially process crimes, or these are leaps of logic that they've accused Trump of. Okay, he didn't classify data. He's a president with the power to declassify. Okay, if he's a president with the power to declassify, then you're not going to go ahead and, I mean, you had millions upon millions of emails, many of which were classified, that were lost during Bush's administration. Then you had classified data on Clinton's servers during President Obama's administration. You're not going to get a conviction that's going to be upheld by the Supreme Court if the precedent has been, well, government officials below the presidency can hold classified data in servers, or just, coincidentally lose them, like the Bush administration. Okay, so, Lulu, thank you. So, that's just one example. He had the power to declassify. If you have the power to declassify, you can't then accuse Trump of committing all of these crimes. You'd have to prove he didn't declassify any of the documents, and that's virtually impossible to prove. Then, in Fulton County, in Atlanta, he didn't try to illegally overturn anything. He went through attorneys, and he went through a process with a precedent that had a precedent. So he didn't try to kind of, they make absurd leaps of logic. They say, well, he tried to overturn results. He didn't do so. He did nothing of the sort. What took place? That's why they're going after attorneys and they're going after state officials. The issue is going after state officials. Republican Party officials. So that's the thing. They're actually going after, if you look at the Fulton County indictment, they're going after Republican officials who back Trump, and they're going after his attorneys. So that's the issue. The issue is that he didn't commit a crime. It's obvious with Hunter and Joe and others around Biden that they are committing crimes. It's pretty obvious that's taking place. Money is going to Hunter and to Joe, and they're giving beneficial treatment. It's pretty obvious. That's why Democrats get money from people from around the world, corporations, billionaires, countries, because they're giving something in return. Okay? With Trump, they're trying to criminalize his behavior. So they're saying, they're criminalizing the fact that he tried to contest results. But he did so legally. He didn't do so illegally. He went through state party officials, Republicans in Georgia's Republican Party. J-Hold, hello. Republicans in the state Republican Party in Georgia sided with Trump, and he went through his attorneys, and he went through the courts, and he lost in the courts. So it's funny because he lost in the courts, and they tried to disparage him, saying, he lost in the courts, oh my God. After him saying, well, you went through the courts, but you did so illegally. The same thing in with the special counsel in D.C., they're trying to say that, well, they're accusing him of fomenting chaos that day in January. He did nothing of the sort. He didn't tell anyone to commit a crime. They're criminalizing the personality they've attributed to Trump. They think that he's this madman, or they want to create this this phony and fake person. Like they want everyone to look at Trump. The indictments are written from the perspective of someone who thinks Trump is capable of anything. That's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. The indictments are not written as if he committed a crime and there's evidence he committed a crime. These indictments are written through the lenses of the most apoplectic, maniacal, morally superior liberal Democrat working for MSNBC or the Democratic Party. And so that's how these indictments are written. That's another reason that you're going to have any indictment be overturned. He did not, for example, foment any criminal activity or violence or chaos in January. That's completely absurd. He's used the word peaceful and patriotic. I mean, the one bad thing he should never have done, this is the thing with Trump. He's very smart. He's the best president in my lifetime in terms of foreign policy and economic policy. But he was a bit naive in terms of he didn't realize what Democrats, media, people within government who don't like him, he didn't realize what they were capable of. He came into the presidency not realizing this. So that's unfortunate. I would say that he was perhaps in a way too idealistic. If you don't want to use the word naive, he was a bit too idealistic. Okay, he didn't think that like he saw people demonstrating all throughout that summer, and so he said, well, we're going to have a demonstration too, but it don't work that way. It don't work that way. You're not going to get any media support. Andrew, thank you. Deborah, I remember that. He did admit that. And so, I mean, no one's perfect, but I'm just saying, hopefully this time around, I mean, I think that he's in the driver's seat. I think that Hillary Clinton will come back and go up against him. And I'm the only person in all of YouTube who even talked about that. JB Rants, hello. But anyway, Matt Gaetz introduces motion to vacate against House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. To my super chat, thank you again. Randy and Paul, thank you so very, very much. Matt Gaetz has followed through on his renewed statements. Gaetz, a frequent critic, introduced a motion Monday evening on the House floor. So, Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A1 of Rule 9, I rise to give notion of my intent to raise a question of privileges of House, Gaetz said, declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. Look at that. Ha ha. Resolved that the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives is hereby declared to be vacant. So you do need, and then McCarthy says, bring it on. But I don't understand. Like, here's the funny thing. McCarthy is backed by Trump. McCarthy is backed by Trump primarily because of the impeachment of Biden. So McCarthy is going to impeach Biden. The House is going to impeach Biden, and they're going to do so. They're going to do so before November of 24. So they're going to do so by next year. That's a definite. The problem, however, is that McCarthy doesn't use his leverage. He doesn't use his influence. Democrats never, hardly ever worked with Republicans or Trump on any major topic. They fought him on every single major topic. You can look at the southern geographic region of our country, for example, and all the problems that are taking place. There could have been, and I'm conservative on most things. I have a couple issues that I feel strongly about. So I want dreamers to become citizens. I want dreamers to become citizens. They could have become citizens within the deal that Trump offered. So Trump offered a deal to fund the wall, and then he would give dreamers citizens. Democrats said no, and they've done nothing for dreamers. So that's the thing. The Democratic Party really doesn't do much. They don't do much for their constituents at all. They have like virtually 100% media support, and they get away with just, if you have 100% media support, you don't really need to govern in a manner that you don't need to really work to ensure that your voters vote for you. The way Democrats handle the political party is basically a gigantic cult. You have people disowning friends and family because they voted for Trump. So you have liberal Democrats who will not have a Trump supporter within their, the Washington Post, MSNBC, CNN, NPR, PBS. So they really have no clue. They have no clue of the other side of an issue. They only know what they think is moral. They don't understand that oftentimes their viewpoint on a variety of topics, from funding an endless military conflict to the southern geographic region, is immoral. Okay? You could look at what's taking place in Europe right now. Okay? There are too many Republicans who are okay with this. So, for example, McCarthy should not allow hundreds of millions of dollars to be sent overseas. He should be pushing for some kind of negotiated settlement and peace. So how long do you want? I mean, if you're a morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat and you don't like Trump, well, then how long do you want that the hostilities and the conflict in Europe to go on? It's over a year now, and there's no end in sight. Nobody even questions. They just put the little icons next to their name on Twitter. I don't have Twitter or X. I don't have Facebook. That's funny. It's been so long since I've done a live stream that Twitter changed its name. Elon Musk changed Twitter's name to X. But how long do they want war to continue? It's pretty unbelievable how you don't really get an answer to that. And there are too many Republicans who are okay with this. There are too many, this never-ending military conflict. Love trucks, hello. Let's just read this really quickly. Bring it on. So it's like he's not going to be removed right now. He's saying bring it on. He could eventually be removed, but he's saying bring it on because he thinks that there's nobody who can replace him. Okay, so there's nobody who can, I believe you need 218 votes, so there's nobody who will get the 218. So that's, I think, why he's overly confident. I have enough Republicans where at this point next week, one of two things will happen. Kevin McCarthy won't be Speaker. So here you have a very interesting statement. Matt Gaetz said, I have enough Republicans where at this point next week, one of two things will happen. Kevin McCarthy won't be Speaker, or he'll be the Speaker of the House working at the pleasure of Democrats. And I'm at peace with either result because the American people deserve to know who governs speakership if Democrats vote for him. The funny thing with that is I don't know if that's going to happen. Let's go ahead and do a poll here. Do you think that Democrats are going to back McCarthy? Let me ask you this, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think House Democrats will back McCarthy? By the way, all right, let me see. Let me ask you this. So here's the question. Do you think House Democrats will back McCarthy against a Matt Gaetz-backed challenger? So let's say Byron Donalds or another Republican. I don't know, because here's the thing. I don't really know if that's even possible, because Democrats, even if it would help their cause, I don't think would break ranks, because it's a political machine. The Democratic Party is a political machine. They're like AI robots. They don't really, everything they do is infused with media and this kind of cult-like mentality. So they, if they saw that a challenger would be worse for them, I don't really see them backing, but anything's possible. You might get Democrats backing McCarthy, and then McCarthy losing eventually. You might get Democrats backing McCarthy in the first attempt at removing him. So there will be numerous attempts by Matt Gaetz. So the first attempt, you probably need 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 Democrats. No, you might not. The second attempt, you might. So there could be numerous attempts at removing him. And then if he, for example, gets 7 or 8 Democrats, then you might get a challenge. Well, the person would need to be in the House of Representatives. So it wouldn't be, anyone on the state level. But you would need eventually a challenge. Deborah, thank you. So you would need a challenge. You would need a challenger. If you have a challenger, let's say somebody within the Republican Party, then that person could actually eventually get enough to overtake McCarthy. Oh, that's right. Sorry, you're right. Wrong. I was wrong. News for friends. You're right. Trump could actually become Speaker of the House. You're right. So it could be Kari Lake. Sorry, MP. News for friends. You're right. I was wrong. And Antonio, I agree with you. It should have been done. I love Roseanne Barr. I love Roseanne. I think that she's amazing. Everyone subscribe to her channel, by the way. She's awesome. And I would love her to be Speaker of the House. That would be amazing. But it doesn't have to be a person within the House of Representatives. That's true. So I was wrong about that. But it looks like he's going to continue. So I have enough Republicans to where at this point next week, one of two things will happen. Kevin McCarthy will be Speaker of the House, or he'll be the Speaker of the House working at the pleasure of Democrats. So if he gets and then you would actually have to have Democrats, working to back McCarthy, which would be very interesting. That would be really interesting. And it would be also interesting because that Democrat would never win his or her seat. So they would be primaried and then they would lose their seat. But let's see here. The House voted, okay. If all Democrats stood against McCarthy and voted the measure, Gaetz would need at least 5 Republicans to back the motion. So let's go ahead and look at this. Kevin McCarthy is kind of pitiful. He's a product of a corrupt system that rewards people who collect large sums of special interest money. There's greater vision and greater clarity and greater trust in the conference and more integrity. He said he has fielded calls from members who express their interest in being the next Speaker of the House if McCarthy is ousted. Gaetz first announced Sunday morning he plans to file the motion following 3 weeks of promises to oust the Speaker. All right, more than 90 GOP lawmakers voted against the resolution recently to back government funding. All right, so let's see here. If all Democrats stood against McCarthy and voted for the measure, Gaetz would need at least 5 Republicans to back the motion. It remains unclear whether Democrats would be willing to bail McCarthy out if he faced an ouster. House Minority Catherine Clark sent an email to House Democrats over the weekend stating that should the motion be filed, parties would hold a meeting to discuss how they'll approach the situation. That would be very bizarre. That would be bad politically. It would be bad politically for a Democrat running in 24 if they backed McCarthy. So I don't know if that would happen. I don't know how that would happen. I just don't, and I don't think it would. I don't think Democrats would come to his rescue. They'll just take their chances with somebody who's more conservative or more of a Trump Republican. Once the motion is filed, party leaders will have 48 hours to bring the motion to the floor for a vote. It's expected that McCarthy will counter the move of the motion to table, effectively ending the ouster. It's not clear when a vote will be held on the motion. But then you could circumvent. So then you could circumvent the effort to table it. So anyway. Yes, Joshua, hello. Thank you. Yeah, I'll be doing the live streams more often. And I'll definitely be doing live streams more often. So I appreciate that. So let's see here. Our number 2 is Steve Scalise. He'd be good. I think very highly of Steve Scalise. I would vote for Steve Scalise. Oh, Lord. I'd probably vote for at least 100 Republicans and maybe 100 other Americans out there who wouldn't necessarily need to be a member of the body. That's right. I was initially wrong. But I am not going to pass over Steve Scalise just because, okay, so God bless him. He has cancer. He's going through treatment now. This is interesting. So, it's interesting. I think it all comes back to the following right here. If you look, ladies and gentlemen, Trump is up 1.1 points. Sky Queen, hello. Yeah, it's funny because I got a new computer. This is a pretty fast running computer, and I don't know why. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you real quickly if the stream is running. Is the stream okay? Hold on one second. Is the stream running smoothly or choppy? Kamashwari Kate! Hello! Hello! Will you please do video talking about manifest? Yeah, I think that she's running again. I believe Madam Fancy Pants is um I think that she's gonna I will. I think that she's gonna run again. Sky Queen, thank you. Um Kamashwari Kate, thank you. Yeah, I mean I think that she's gonna run again. I don't really think that I just don't think that it's glitchy. Okay, I gotta fix this. I just don't think that she's gonna let mashed potato brains Joe. I just don't. Kamashwari Kate, thank you. I don't think she's gonna let Joe Biden go. I just don't. I just don't see Democrats going with Biden, even though he's a sitting president. I don't. He's not popular. He needs and the entire American media backing him, propping him up, and you're going to have, I still believe, a terrible stock market crash. Recession could very well be on the horizon, but business, um, the economy is not good. So you have interest rates through the roof, making it very difficult for a good number of people, especially to buy a home, especially to buy a home in California or New York, for example. And so you have just so many issues and never-ending military acts don't seem to really want to stop. It really makes, I mean, Biden's economy is, it's what, 3 years now since you know what, going on 4 years. Okay, it was Democrats who pushed to shut down economic activity. H-Toast, thank you. Thank you, H-Toast. Greatly appreciated. Um, you look at, they said, oh, Biden will stop you know what. And it was like, then it was more people lost their lives from you know what. Then it was, oh, Biden's economy is so fantastic. And then he ignored inflation, went through the roof, and then interest rates went up exponentially. So they say, well, oh, well, inflation, we lowered inflation. Yeah, you raised interest rates. You raised interest rates. Paul, thank you again. To the super chat, thank you. Kamashwari Kate, I think that Madam Fancy Pants is gonna. I think that she's returning. I just think that Hillary Clinton is gonna return eventually. And Democrats, look, like the furthest left. You want to say progressive or left-leaning Democrats? I believe me, I was part of that world for a long time. They will vote for Hillary Clinton. It doesn't matter what color your hair is. You can have, bright green or, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can be a communist or a socialist, and you can claim you dislike the Democratic Party, and if you're on the left, you'll vote Hillary Clinton. That's just the way it is. They don't really care. It's like she's basically a deity. She's like a deity for people on the left. She's like the Hillary goddess for people on the left. And so it's like if you get media to just focus only on how bad Trump is and how even if you don't like Hillary, you still got to vote for her, they will do every major city's newspapers backing Clinton. And yeah, so I don't really. I think that that's eventually going to take place, ladies and gentlemen. I really do. But ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your support very, very much. I am going to try to fix the issue with. See, what's happening is OBS is disconnecting and reconnecting, and I don't really understand why. I really don't understand why. I just don't. I don't. If anybody could tell me really quickly before we end the live stream, I think I'm going to head on out. I will be doing uploads, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow and every other day. We'll be back and running full steam within the next couple of days. We'll by tomorrow. I'll try to do at least 3 uploads tomorrow and numerous uploads throughout every single day. I will be working on getting some really wonderful interviews. So that will be very, very interesting. Hopefully that happens. I think that will. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. God bless you all. To my super chat, thank you so very much. Randy, Paul, Kamashwari, Kate, thanks everybody. That's true. I think exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I will let you know about the next live stream. Thanks everybody. God bless you all. Sky Queen, thank you. It's been absolutely wonderful to see you all, and I'll see you very soon. I'll definitely have a bunch of segments tomorrow, so definitely click on the H.A. Goodman on YouTube and hit subscribe. Thanks, everybody.